Welcome to the Lair of Secrets podcast. Tonight, we're talking about our summer reading list for 2025. I'm David Moore, and I've been constructing lanterns for Shadow Dark.
And my name's Ken Newquist, and I am building the R2-D2 flying model rocket. It has fins. Without fins, it's really just a cannonball, and it flies very erratically. But I am building it.
I did build the space shuttle way back in junior high, and
that's on the list.
It came off the launch rod, made a 90-degree turn, bounced off the hood of a car, and landed in a field.
That sounds about right.
But we're talking about our summer reading lists, which we've been doing for the last few years. Ken, you've been doing a heck of a lot longer than I have. What is on your reading list for this summer?
Yeah, I don't even know how many lists, what year I'm at. It must be like 15, 16, something like that. Yeah, anyway, so top of my list is Red Sonja Consumed by Simone. She had been writing the Red Sonja comic book, which I read at least the first volume of that. I'm thinking now I need to go back and make sure that I've read the rest of it. But it was very good. You know, it's like the, I'm trying to remember. It's not Sword and Sorcery. I guess it's Sword and Sorcery, right? So it's like Conan-esque, and the first one, she's, barbarian, kicking butt, dealing with city being infected by a plague, I think. It's been a bit since I read it, but I really enjoyed it. She's also writing X-Men right now. I'm so far behind on my comic books. I have not actually gotten to her current run on X-Men, but I will eventually. But in this book, rumors start bubbling up from her homeland, rumors of unknown horrors emerging from the ground and pulling their unsuspecting victims to their death. That's Red Sonja's homeland, not Gail Simone's. And a strange voice begins whispering in her sleep, and she realizes she may have to return to the country that abandoned her to confront her past. So, I'm looking forward to it. I got it for Christmas. It's been sitting on my Kindle ever since, knowing that I was going to read it for my summer reading list. So I'm looking forward to it. The graphic novel was great, and so I imagine the book will be the same.
Awesome. Yeah, my understanding is Red Sonja is in the same setting as Conan, but they may have separated them since then.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the movie kind of had...
unless the movie... Because they had Red Sonja in a Conan movie, and then they had a Red Sonja movie.
I think they had
way back when.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, because the main character in Conan the Barbarian, like his, the female barbarian character was not actually Red Sonja, I don't think.
No, that's
and in Red Sonja, the movie, Arnold did not actually play Conan because I think there was a rights issue.
Okay. So maybe they aren't.
But I don't actually.
Maybe
remember.
It's just my own headcanon there.
I think it is your own headcanon. It is easy to assume that they exist in the same universe, but I don't know if that's actually true.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to, put them in the same universe in terms of like, hey, more IP.
Yes.
Yeah. So my first book, and I need to read it first because it's on loan from the library, is When the Moon Hits Your Eye by John Scalzi. I've been a fan of Scalzi's book for a while. This is definitely one of his more humorous books, like Starter Villain.
Yeah, I expect so.
Or Kaiju Preservation Society. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to hold me over until the next Old Man's War book comes out, which I think is his next book that's coming out. The blurb is interesting. There's two blurbs that I could find. This is the one I chose, but the moon has turned into cheese. Now humanity has to deal with it. For some, it's an opportunity. For others, it's a moment to question their faith in God, in science, in everything. Still others try to keep the world running in the face of absurdity and uncertainty. And then there are the billions looking to the sky and wondering how a thing like that, a thing that was always there, just there, is now something absolutely impossible. Astronauts and billionaires, comedians and bank executives, professors and presidents, teenagers and terminal patients at the end of their lives, over the length of an entire lunar cycle, each get their moment in the moonlight. To panic, to plan, to wonder and to pray, or to laugh and to grieve. In a kaleidoscopic novel that goes all the places you'd expect, and then to so many places you wouldn't. It's a wild moon age daydream. Ride this rocket. So my understanding is when the moon does turn to a cheese-like substance, it not only turns into that, but all of the moon rocks that we have collected here on Earth turn into the same cheese-like substance. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's probably going to be quite funny in a lot of places, but then, if you're talking about terminally ill patients in the book blurb. It's probably going to be fairly serious in other places.
Yeah, I passed on this one. I thought about it. I saw it at the bookstore. This might just be a little bit too goofy for me. So I'll have to hear what you think.
A bridge too far.
Bridge too far. I'm also thinking, like, I read Neil Stephenson's Seveneves a number of years ago, which is all about the moon being destroyed. And I'm like, oh, that ended badly for the planet.
Yeah.
Like, a moon made out of cheese. I think my brain immediately goes to trying to figure out how that works.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got all the way to, I don't even know how far into the book it was because it was electronic, but it was probably not even halfway through. I got to the point where there's a dramatic time jump. And I got to that spot, and that was where I had stopped. So there's a lot of book left from what I understand.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember. That seems to me like to be closer to the end, but no, maybe not. Yeah, I guess there was a dramatic jump, and then there's another dramatic jump. But in any case, I mean, I enjoyed it, but you have to be in the right headspace. It's a dark book.
Yeah, we were listening to it on audiobook when driving for our vacation. And yeah, that's a bit of a dark book for heading out to a sunny vacation.
Yes. If you ever want to know what's going to happen if the moon's destroyed, go read that book. If you want to know what happens if the moon turns to cheese, read When the Moon Hits Your Eye. Horror wasn't usually pretty high on my summer reading lists, but it's kind of been clawing its way up out of the basement. One of the books I have on my list is Cold Eternity by S.A. Barnes. I've read her first two books, which are both sort of horror/ghost story in space where there may or may not be ghosts. And is it a science explanation? Is everybody going crazy? She does a good job of kind of playing with what's actually happening. And I think she does a pretty good job with the actual science of it too. So, and she doesn't cheat, right? You get to the explanation, it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. That works. It's creepy and dark, and the characters are experiencing horrific things. And yet, I've been reading them. On this one, the main character is Haley, who is on the run from interplanetary political scandal. So she decided to get on a giant spaceport storing the cryogenically frozen body of Earth's most fortunate citizens from more than a century ago. And so this is very much in my generational starship / cryo storage starship genre that I've been kind of in for the last couple of months.
Sounds like it's also will be fodder for mothership games. When
easily.
You start reading those.
Easily. So this trillionaire wrote it. He's dead, but the AI hologram hosts are created in the likeness of his adult children. And now she thinks maybe there's other things on the ship with her. So the blurb sounds great. Ghost stories in space. You had me at Ghost Stories in Space.
I may add that one to my list. Mine is also space themed. I guess the last 3 have been space themed. But it's a little different. It's not horror. It's called Space Opera by Catherine M. Valenti. And so this one's been on my Kindle for way too long. It's about time I read it, really. It's been at the top of the reading list on the Kindle. I just haven't picked up the Kindle very much. It's described as The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets the joy and glamour of Eurovision. So it may also feed into my vision of creating a Glam-paign style role-playing game. The idea, we'll put the blurb into the show notes, but the general gist of it is once every cycle, the galactic civilizations gather for a metagalactic Grand Prix, as it says here. The part gladiatorial contest, part beauty pageant, part concert extravaganza, and part continuation of the wars of the past. The twist here, though, is this year is when humankind has discovered the enormous universe. So this is first contact for humanity. The blurb says, while they expected to discover a grand drama of diplomacy, gunships, wormholes, and stoic councils of aliens, they have instead found glitter, lipstick, and electric guitars. Mankind will not get to fight for its destiny. They must sing. Decibel Jones and the Absolute Zeros have been chosen to represent their planet on the greatest stage in the galaxy, and the fate of the Earth lies in their ability to rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was nicely goofy.
Yeah. I picked this one up because I had been thinking, it seemed neat. I'd been thinking of running or creating a game, probably short-term campaign, based on a tweet where someone was talking about a Glam-paign and then there followed a whole bunch of different like glam rock slash drag show type stuff, and I just think it would be hilarious to just be way over the top David Bowie style, and so this just feeds right into that.
Nice. So next on my list is, because I love reading series of books over the summer, I am reading book 3 of Mur Lafferty's The Midsolar Murders, which is called Infinite Archive and comes out July 1st of this year. So, I mean, obviously it has to be on my reading list. So these are cozy murder mysteries in space that occasionally get thrown into high gear with action stuff. But generally speaking, it's what if the character from Murder, She Wrote was real and everyone realized that everywhere she went, murder followed, right? That actually living that would be kind of awful, right? And so in earlier novels, Mallory, the main character, had fled to Station Eternity to try and get away from all of the murders, which it kind of worked until it didn't. And so in this book, she's settling into her life. Things are kind of calming down, except now humanity is apparently sending the internet to Station Eternity and bundled a convention with it. Like, I'm assuming it's like it's what kind of convention is it? It's like a murder mystery convention. And then her agent has booked her as the keynote speaker.
Nice. Nice.
And then a killer, of course, strikes at the convention. So, murder mystery in space. I guess if you have it in space, I will read it.
Yeah. My last one, I don't know a ton about it. Aaron gave it to me quite a long time ago. It's here. You probably can't see it on the camera, but it is dusty. Let me put it that way. She gave it to me a lot longer ago than I would like to think about, and it's about time to read it. It's called Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and it's about two main characters, Victor and Eli. They started out as college roommates, brilliant, arrogant, lonely boys who recognize the same sharpness and ambition in each other. Basically, they have some things happen in their senior year, and they figure out that superpowers can be brought out of people.
Okay.
However, Victor ends up in prison for some reason. 10 years later, he's determined to catch up with his old friend, now foe, Eli, aided by a young girl's whose reserved nature obscures a stunning ability. It's a super-powered, I won't even say superhero, but it's a super-powered novel. And so, again, I don't know what it's really going to be, because Erin gave it to me. She read the blurb. She thought it looked neat. And I just haven't picked it up yet, and I'm going to be.
Very cool. Very cool. So I got a bunch of other books on my list too. Folks, stop by nuketown.com. You can see the full list. I'm still putting it together. I think I'm at like maybe 10 books right now. It's probably going to top out around 13 or 14 books. I've got a couple of vacations this summer, some of which are longer. So hopefully we'll have opportunities to read, fingers crossed. But, I like to read, 12 to 14 books a summer if I can. So we shall see if I'm able to do that.
Yep. I've got some more on my list, but, or some more backed up, I should say. I had picked up all of Terry Pratchett's work electronically in a bundle. And so I had been slowly working my way through it. It's about time I picked up another one or two. So I just don't want them to end, though.
Yeah, I know. I have that same. I'm reading, not discussed in this list, but I'm reading The Last of the Culture series. And so that author passed away a number of years ago. This is the last one. And I've been reading these books for the last 7 years or something like that. So it's going to be sad to have it finally come to a conclusion.
Yeah. I will say the last few books I have read the last few books that Terry Pratchett put out, and he knew his end was coming, and that is in the book. So those are both, they're both funny and humorous, but there is a very serious tone with a lot of the characters there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that said, despite the fact we have plenty of other books, we're always looking for more books to read. So if people are interested in contributing them, find us over on Dice Camp, visit us at lairofsecrets.com, stop by YouTube, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you have books you think we should read, let us know. If you have books that you think people who listen to the podcast should read, let us know. Maybe we'll do an update later this summer. We shall see what our time looks like. But, if not this summer, we can always add them to our list next summer.